download.
Amazing. Hey, Christmas is over. It's back to work. Mental health and well-being in the office are a huge issue at this time of the year. Well, the research firm, Psychological Technologies, estimates just a 1% increase in individual happiness is worth an average, well, $989, nearly $1,000 to the business. So what makes a happy workforce? What can individuals do? And actually, what can the bosses do? Let's find out, because Dr. George MacKerron is the co-founder, MacKerron, I'm sorry, I said it again, didn't I? The co-founder of Psychological Technologies, and you specialise, right, in creating technology to measure the happiness and the well-being. How do you get to that figure? This $989.
So we developed an app called Me at My Best that asks people how they feel and asks them about the context of that experience regularly while they're at work. Then we can kind of create complex models, econometric models, statistical models that relate that to the things that are going on there. And we find strong links between how happy people say they are and how productive they are, and also how likely they are to leave the organisation in the near future, how likely they are to advocate for the organisation, and so on. And if we add up the things that we can monetize of those, so if we add up those productivity and improvements, and in fact the reduced likelihood of them saying they're going to quit soon, then that gives us that figure, which is probably, probably that's underestimating, because actually there's lots of things that we didn't even monetize in that figure.
So it makes sense, right? Happy workplace, more productivity, more bucks for the company. So there's got to be a driven interest for companies to make a happy workforce. They're going to make more money.
That's absolutely right. Historically, the problem is that companies don't know enough about who's happy, why they're happy, how they can make them happier, and this really helps. And of course, companies are really excited by this, and that's why we're funding to try and get this out as widely as possible on the Cedars platform now. And by doing that, companies can figure out where in the company's doing well and why, where in the company's doing less well and why, move those lessons from the great performing parts to the less well performing parts, and critically also, they can then connect that well-being of the workforce to the bottom line, and they can prove that this is worth doing, not just in general, on average, in some paper that someone read once, but right here, now, in
and do it regularly too, right, to keep across the board.
Absolutely. You don't stop this measurement, because once you've started doing this, you want to make sure it's working, so you keep measuring.
I also love that you break up the workforce into four tribes. Right? And I'll go thrivers, stoic contributors, ineffective passengers, and treading water.
That's right. So we look at people's happiness and their productivity, and as we've already said, those two things are strongly linked, but nevertheless there is a sort of a cloud of points, right? If you plot those things against each other, the thrivers are the people who are happy and productive. They're a great asset. You want more of that, and you want to figure out how to get people to that area. Now, there are things you can do on the individual level, simple things, sleeping better, eating better, getting exercise, doing mindfulness. Some of these things we can help with our app. Some of these things people could potentially help themselves, and companies can support them in that. And then at the level of the organisation as a whole, there are things that the organisation can do to help. They can improve the workplace environment, but they can also improve the work culture. And we can give them feedback. So people answer these questions regularly. It tells them about themselves. It helps them to improve the situation from the bottom up. But it also anonymously feeds that data back to the employer, who can then take steps to improve the environment, to improve the culture, and to do that in the right way in each place.
And they need to, because your research shows that a workplace is the most unhappiest for people, second most unhappiest outside of being sick in bed. Unbelievable. Dr. George MacKerron, thanks very much for coming in.
Thank you.
Let's see, I'll tell you who is happy at the moment, investors. Take a look at this. Is what's happening on Wall Street as we speak, and just over 25,036, that is the Dow Jones. Another record, a wow on the Dow. It just continues. There's 2017 records, well, looks like they're going to continue all the way through. Well, I can't say all the way through until 2018. Depends on what President Trump does. Follow me on Twitter at BBC Hour, and I'll be back same time, same place tomorrow. Yalda is back with Impact at the top of the hour. Ta-da.